Hello, and welcome to Realign Journey, the unfiltered guide to self-discovery and reconnection. I'm Sierra Sambrowski, your host, and together we'll navigate and discover the ways we have lost touch with our true selves and explore ways we can reconnect to it. On this episode, I have with me Madhurima Ganguly. Madhurima is a sculptor and visual art practitioner whose work spans continents and cultures. Her work has been featured in numerous prestigious exhibitions throughout the US and India and is held in private collections across the US, UK, and India. Alongside her studio practice, she is an art educator and works as a full-time medical and court interpreter. She also serves on the board of Canton Township as a commissioner for culture, arts, and heritage, and is on the cultural advisory board of Rising Voices. Beyond all that, Madhurima founded Artful Gatherings, which is a vibrant art studio dedicated to bringing the community together through inspiring art workshops. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really
Absolutely.
grateful to be here.
Yes, I know. So before we jump into the kickoff question that I always use for each episode, I just kind of want to set up a little bit of framework for the listeners and for you also. I did send you an email randomly. We've never met. Um, I saw your work in one of your exhibits here in St. Pete at the Six Star Studios. And when I saw your work, I mean, it really just spoke to me, and I saw so much spiritual truth in it. Like, I just was like, now I already believe that all kinds of creativity is truly just channeling divine anyway. But I was like, this is so much about rebirth and divine feminine, and just it felt so deep to me that I thought this artist, I think more than a lot of, because I go and see a lot of art, but I just felt like whatever you have been through in life, whatever you have discovered, whatever has, I don't know, it just felt so personal to me, like so much more than kind of wanting to convey concepts. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes.
I mean, we're gonna I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna ask you now about some of those, or maybe one of the most important pivotal moments in your life, and I'm sure we'll get guided into deeper conversation and how that's showing up in your artwork and all that. But let's just start with what was one of the most pivotal, impactful moments for you? The first one that comes to mind, because I'm sure you've had many.
Yes, I mean, now that I think of, I don't think there is only one
Right.
because it's like with time, I feel like every pivotal moment is as important as that one.
Hmm.
It could be leaving my country, it could be my marriage, it could be the childbirth, it could be that job, it could be coming to the art practice,
Yeah.
uh, or like living my my new home which I built. Like we started our journey like husband and wife from San Diego. We thought, oh, okay, this is it. But then again, I moved from San Diego to Michigan. So all these things, I think it's in a layer,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they all impacted me as a human and as an artist, and they all gave little bit, little bit, little bit.
Yeah.
So now that if I distance myself from
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
I can't distinguish from. one point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't.
Was there anything that you feel, like I said, I shared a little bit my interpretation of your work, but like I said, it felt very much kind of like a discovery of your real identity and in reclaiming, I think it felt like reclaiming to me is the divine feminine aspect of ourselves. But like I said, I also had such a deep sense about like that there was this like birth and reinvention, and there was such an element around those particular things. And so was that also kind of uncovered for you in, I mean, I think it always is in piece after piece, or was there something that kind of, I don't know, that felt like a bigger catalyst that really pushed you into that space?
Um, I think both, because so I always say this, my work is like my own journal.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, things where I can't express, or like I can't really say something, or really put my expressions there, or my fierce protest,
Mm-hmm.
that I put in my work.
Mm-hmm.
And that that really, that's where I channel my inner feminism, or my everything, and that's where you can see all those things going on, and that it has everything, what where, like, I am trying to figure out the exact words, but it has everything from the divine to
Mm-hmm.
the mortal,
Yeah.
and when I'm working, I'm not trying to tell a story, I'm trying to pinpoint that moment
Mm-hmm.
where I am feeling that feeling of rage, that feeling of uh, devotion, that feeling of love, that feeling of anger, that feeling of uh, you know uh, anxiety, that feeling of tension. So I always tell that my work doesn't have a story. My work has a moment,
Oh, I love that.
and that's why my work is like, I'm very impulsive in a way. I see the work.
Uh-huh.
I do most of my work mentally. Like, I need to see the work.
You have like a
And one,
visualization of it before it
yes,
comes out of you.
yes. And
Okay.
once it comes, I have to work.
Mm-hmm.
I have to work. And that's why I chose watercolor and ink, that medium, because I feel that it aligns with my emotions, like that urge, because the fluidity of it.
Uh-huh.
Because even when, like, as like when you feel something, you can't stay in a boundary. The feelings are very fluid. You are in love, but at the same time you are angry, you are expecting something, you are a lot of things, a lot of emotions are going on. It's not one particular emotion. If
Mm-hmm.
you're mad on someone, you are not only mad, you are mad because they have done something. And you are not mad on a random person, you are mad because you love that person, so you have lots of
Mm-hmm.
expectation from that person. So you are mad because you're disappointed on that person, or you are mad because uh, somehow you feel disrespected. So it's a lot of things are going on at the same time. So it's a lot of mixing is going on. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those mediums gives me um, those opportunities to play on paper, and I can express my feelings then
Mm-hmm.
and there. But again, it's not a story I'm trying to say, I'm trying to capture that very moment. So
I
that's
think
how it
that's
is.
fascinating. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily talk to a lot of artists in great depth. not that I've not had conversations with other artists, that it seems to me that oftentimes they are trying to tell a story. And so I actually love multiple things. I love that you say your pieces are about um, that moment, capturing all of that moment. I love that you're talking about how once you get that visual of what the piece looks like, that it becomes almost like this compulsive urge that has to come out of you. I think that's so, um, it's such a clear expression of the concept that when artists, no matter what form of artist you are, you're really just channeling, you're really just birthing something, right? Like when we go into labor as mothers, as women that have physically given birth, we know like there's no stopping it. It might be slow and painful, but I would say that shit is coming. Like it is inevitable. It is gonna come out of you, right? And so, and oftentimes people can recognize that urge to like want to push, even if the doctors or the medical people are saying, not yet, hold on, like whatever. And you're like, no, it feels like I got to. So I love that you were able to articulate that as the way your work comes through you. And also, I love what you're saying about the emotions and how the underlying complexity of emotions, because I really didn't think about it like that myself, honestly. But like when you were saying, like around anger for somebody, how there has to be this sense of us that has love or a positive expectation there, or else you wouldn't be angry about it on the backside, right?
Yeah, and so I'm a very um I would say spiritual person, or
Hmm.
I don't know what person, but I spend a lot of time in my thoughts. A lot. I'm a Sagittarius, so
Okay.
I'm a very philosophical person also, I think. So, and I love listening to Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Abraham Hicks, and
Hmm.
they are my go-to when I am down. And then you listen to them and you come up and you feel like, I got it.
Yes.
So even like when I listen to them and then again I go back to my own cocoon, I feel like I feel like investigating in my own emotions. And I like, okay, why is this happening? Why I'm feeling like this? And at the same time, I love the concept of outer world, like we are
Hmm.
not alone.
Hmm.
And what's going to happen once I'm gone, and how like the universal consciousness.
Right.
But it's very hard to fathom that in the daily life, you know, especially when like I'm struggling with the daily job and school and everything.
Yeah.
But and of course like my own health issues, so those things are not very important in so and so real life.
Hmm.
But when I go to my studio and I'm in that zone, it comes back because it's still in me. I
Hmm.
can't shut that thing off. And I think somehow they come back again and again in my work. And I don't want to shut them off
Hmm.
completely. But, and I feel for in any kind of field, not only art field, any field, once you go deep, everything is related. Then you can't just take out the music from science or the science from the arts or like the cooking from the composition or some you know what I mean, like
Well, yeah.
everything is related,
Right.
everything, and everything is about life. And that's what I think my work is also about, like my migration, my immigration journey, my identity, geopolitics, motherhood, my, you know, everything has a connection.
Mhm.
And those all impact my work,
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
And, but slowly, with time, I think I am like shedding like an onion and
Mhm.
trying to focus, or like realize, like I'm realizing what I really want, but
Mhm.
that focus stays only for a few minutes and then again I'm like, oh, I lost it.
Yeah. Has that deepened for you though? I mean,
Yes,
I think
it did.
yeah, I
It
was going to
did.
say, because I think that part of it becomes like as our kids get older and as we get older, particularly as women, I think there is this deepening of a sense of our identity and what we know to be true, regardless of kind of what we've been taught is true for us by society, by our culture, by our religions, by our parents, whatever, right? And
Exactly.
it gets harder to ignore, I think.
Yes.
And then also, I think there's an expansion of being able to stay in those moments when we are our most true self, our most full expression of who we really are past all that. And I believe personally that a lot of times when we engage in whatever that personal practice is that connects us back to ourselves, connects us to the divine spirit, which I happen to believe is also your true self, like your soul is you and part of the collective God universe, whatever you want to call it, that then you are able to grasp that for longer and longer periods of time until then that is your full expression. That does become every day who you are and how you show up and think, right?
Yes, definitely. And there are two aspects of it. One, because it has deepened, it's difficult to live with it, because now I have that uh, sensibility not to live with the BS around me,
Mm-hmm.
which I was living for long period of time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
more sensible now, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to tolerate this, because I know why it's happening and I'm not up for it. One is that, and second is, now that I know, it's very hard that to accept people who don't know what's happening. It's They don't know, so it's very easy to live with it. But once you know what's happening, then it's very hard,
Mm-hmm.
very hard, that, oh my god, like, the say that ignorance is a bliss.
Yes.
So I feel I'm not ignorant anymore, not
Right.
for everything, but in many ways,
Right.
especially because, in many ways, that I have came a long way from my country. I immigrated to another country, another continent. So I grew up in a different culture. I came
Mm-hmm.
to a new culture. I adopted many things. So many things I learned, and now I'm learning totally different lenses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have to constantly juggle between two worlds. And I don't think I have any home anymore, because every time I'm like, oh, that's my home. I feel this smell reminds me of home, but this is my home. I bought this home and
Mm-hmm.
I love being here. This is my home, but again, that is home. So these contradictions are there also.
Mm-hmm.
I'm raising my daughter here, and I'm trying to give her this life, but at the same time, I'm trying to teach her my ways also. So all these contradictions are also there, and those are also very heavy stuff, very heavy things. So why I'm saying this, that this is also me, although I'm growing up, but this is also new me, which I I wasn't prepared for. You
Mm,
know, I nobody prepared me for this. Although nobody prepares anybody for this kind of cultural changes. Nowadays, we all move out from our own countries. We all pack our bags, suitcases. We all travel. But I think because I practice art, my awareness is little different.
mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not saying that I'm someone who is very aware and everything. I'm not saying that way, but definitely my thought process is much different than someone who doesn't practice art.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that,
Yeah.
definitely. So
Well, and it's interesting that you say that because one of the things that I was thinking as I've been listening to you talk is, and I've been wanting to think about how I come back to it, and you just kind of opened that door for me, but was to ask you, what has your art taught you? What have you talked about, and I know this is true for many people, like you kind of have a vision and you work through it. So in so many ways, you're giving life to the art. And also, especially from what you just said, it makes me ask, but what have you witnessed kind of reflected back to you that maybe you didn't necessarily have as an intention or understanding, but through the process of creating the art and expressing that way, you have taken on or learned something or been given a new perspective that maybe you didn't have going into it.
I think many things, but the first thing is, so I don't think I'm good at anything in art, uh, in my art.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think art way I'm like I'm good at it. And that's why I am not um, afraid to failure. You
Okay.
know, that is my biggest, I will say, stamina or something. Like I enjoy doing it, and that is my biggest intake.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, that is one which I think I will take for life also.
Mhm. Yeah.
And another important part is once I started art practice, like proper, sincere art practice, I found the community.
Mm.
I found people who genuinely connected with my work, like you.
Hmm.
And that just blew my mind. Like, how is it possible that there are so many people who connected with my work and they all just came to me? They all had the same ideas and they all came and said the same thing, that thank you for
Really?
doing this, and we all connected. And it's just amazing to think of that so many people around the world. So that means that art, and truly that art is universal, and there are people who can relate to your work if it's authentic, if you do it from that authentic place.
Hmm.
So that is, I think that is something the most precious
Mm.
point, and that keeps me going
Yeah.
because earlier I was like, when I first moved to this country,
Hmm.
I was in San Diego, and I was involved with a art association, and I was not doing proper practice. So I used to see there a lot of artists, retired people. They used to do a lot of nice work, and they used to sell a lot of work. And I used to be like, oh, they're so, they're selling works, and I don't sell any work, and nobody buys my work because I their work was different than my work.
Hmm.
and they all appreciated my work very well. But so what I did, I wanted to work like them, their work. So I wanted to, mimic their work. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, it didn't received very well. So, but then by that time, I moved to Michigan. And after moving to Michigan, I was like, okay, now that, because when we were in San Diego, we thought, okay, we are in San Diego, but we have plans to move back to India. We had no plans to settle down in the US.
Okay.
So that's why we were like, no point of spending much of our resources or our there's no point of investing ourselves
Right.
into this space.
Right.
But when we moved to Michigan, Ann Arbor, we were like, okay, now what? And that was the time I was like, no, I have to get going. I have to be serious and I have to start my practice. Then I started proper practice and I made my studio. I started working. I gave my work, my time, and my commitment. My work gave me back its, blessings. And that's how it all started. But it was amazing how I met like-minded people, gallery curators, audiences. We all spoke the same language.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something interesting. And third point is, of course, I think that's related with the first point, that from with the failure stuff, that um, I think it's related with the practice, that when you are working on a project, how you want to make it work. And if even if it's failing, because I'm not afraid to fail, and that's why I'm enjoying. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about failing or success. I'm just enjoying the process. That's
Mm-hmm.
why keep going, and end of the day, it's something. And that's what art showed me, art gave me. And as I said, like, my art is my personal journal.
Mm-hmm.
It, like, the frustrations I have from for the society,
Mm-hmm.
even from my family,
Mm-hmm.
from anything, I can put that into my art.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky that I'm an artist. I don't need a counselor. I can just go to my studio and I can pour myself into a work,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm fresh. My mind is fresh. It's all there. I don't have to carry that baggage. So I'm grateful for that.
I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, for real. Because, I mean, first of all, therapy and counseling and coaching and all that kind of stuff, including pharmaceuticals, is a huge industry here, particularly in this country. Um, and so, yeah, to hear you say about how it allows you to kind of empty out all the things and witness them and then just let them go. I mean, I think, man, I wish everybody approached it like you because I think we'd all be so much happier for
I
sure.
think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
I also
definitely.
think it's really interesting the way you just talked about how it's, and I don't know if you realize this or if this is how you think about it, but the way I just heard it was about basically that your art is its own entity. It's its own thing beyond just possession. Like you said, I give it energy, I give it attention, I give it my time. Like the way you talk about it, it's like a relationship of any
Mhm.
kind, right? Like whether it's a parenting relationship or a romantic relationship, family relationship, like we talk about how that relationship becomes its own individual entity because we are pouring our energy and our effort and our time into it. And so I thought it was really interesting that the way you just spoke about it was exactly those things. So I guess I don't know, anything else that you want to expand on that? Because like I said, that really just struck me the way you talked about your art and how like it's
May-
its own life, it's its own entity.
yeah, that's correct, and maybe that's the reason why so many people connect with it.
Hmm.
Maybe that's the main reason why so many people connect with it. And it is true, like when I work, like it's like giving a birth,
Sure.
like my child. Like, I love my daughter, but she's a different entity, right?
Hmm.
She came through me, but she is a different person. So my work is like that. Owe it I don't owe it. It's done. It's once it's done, it's done. It's a different thing.
Wow. Wow.
So that's how I feel it.
Hmm.
And I enjoy the process of it. It gives me joy. It gives me relief.
Hmm.
It gives me, as I said, like, it definitely rescues me because, again, my work is it it's about the moment. So the moment, and I told this many times to many of my friends also, that I can work only when I'm mad or sad or like that. I can't work when I'm happy, because my work, I you have seen my work. So my
Yeah.
work is very, very intense,
Hmm.
and they are not very pretty work. Like, maybe of course there is some sort of beauty in it, but that beauty also comes from a very deep place.
Hmm.
So I feel very deeply. I need to be very disturbed, and when I'm very disturbed, I just go and work. So any kind of work has some kind of things going on in my life, and
Hmm.
that's the result of that. So I feel like all my works has rescued me from something.
Mm.
When I'm happy, I will go watch a movie or go for ice cream or go for a walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I'm sad, I will go to my studio, and it works for me. And I'm grateful that I have that
Yeah.
thing. And not only sad, but like, like, so much is going on in the world, but I have no way to do anything directly.
Hmm.
Indirectly, yes, a lot of things. But when I feel like, no, I think I have to do something, and I will make a painting or a drawing or something. So, like that. So my work literally pulls me away.
Right. It's the way
So
you process through something and learn how to integrate something or accept something or
yes,
yeah.
yes,
So has your
yes,
work really transformed a lot in the way that it looks then?
yes, yes,
I mean, like I
a
said,
lot.
whatever the pieces that I saw had a very I thought kind of a very cohesive look to them in that there was, like I said, a lot of what I would say feminism expressed in it. There was a really strong what I would think looked like Hindu influence to me also. There was some what I took as astrological, there seemed like one that seemed clearly like Gemini energy or Pisces energy. So I don't know if you meant that or not, but there were certain aspects of that I saw. But I just was wondering, because your work is so individually personal and not something that you're like, oh, I'm going to create a series around this theme, which I know some artists do because your stuff is so sort of impulsive and so just what comes up in you, but they did look very cohesive to me. is it drastically different? Like, do all of your works kind of have those same influences to them, or no? So they can be totally different.
So I can't say that because I just do, but I think people say that no, they can see similarity.
Uh-huh.
So, but I feel like now I use a lot more color.
Okay.
And very recently I started working big. But a few years back, I used to work more like drawing, and where my palette was much limited.
Hmm.
And I do use a lot of Hindu mythological like figures, figurines into my like. I take a lot of influence from there.
Hmm.
I use a lot of tiger in
Hmm.
my
Yes.
work, uh, because and gold, because again, like I feel like gold is royal and it screams power.
Hmm.
And I me being a feminist, I want to scream power as me in my body, and the same for tigers. And all these things are there in my work. But that being said, I take inspiration from anywhere and everywhere, from nature, from fashion, from daily life,
Hmm.
everywhere. But I'm slowly I'm trying to go little storytelling way, but let's see where I go.
Yeah.
But uh, again, as I said, like I enjoy this whole thing,
Hmm.
and I don't think I'm good at it, but
That's
I'm
crazy to me that you don't think that. But
no, I don't, and that's why I enjoy it, because I'm not afraid to fail.
yeah.
And I take it like I don't take it seriously. I take it like a fun way. But what I take seriously is the practice, that okay, I have to put it there. I have to just vomit,
Hmm.
or else I like it's too much pressure for me.
Yeah.
Like if it's here, it's I just can't breathe.
Yeah.
That I take very seriously. But the art itself, I don't, because there's so many good artists out there. Oh my God. It's like I don't think I'm that good. But yes. Uh, and again, like there's so much like in my mind, so much goes on at same time. Like what is going on in that planet? What if I die now? Where I will go? So many things.
Yeah.
And then it's very hard to come back to dinner table. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's kind of person I am. And so it's very hard to go back, channel myself into that one linear point, and then like, okay, no, I will not think of those things, and I have to stick to this part. So
Yeah. That's super fascinating. I mean, many things that you have said have been really interesting to me, but um, I think certainly there's so much for people that are listening or that see your work to take from you. I think it's really interesting that that you have this idea of thinking that you're not good at it, which is hilarious to me. However, that has translated into this way of you letting yourself off the hook about being really good at it or feeling like you don't, and maybe this is a United States thing, people that are that our roots here, there's such this idea around um being perfectionistic and this deep fear of failure. And so, there's so many people that don't try even to attempt or even like a little bit of a practice, and they can't let themselves off the hook of anything because they think I will fail because I'm no good at it. So I just won't do those things, right? And so it's really interesting to me, and I think it's a beautiful lesson, and certainly one of the things that I hope people take away from listening to you is that you've actually used the idea that you might not be good at something as like a permission slip to just do it and just go for it. And I think that's so counter to the way that we are often taught and like kind of what is put on us, even in a subconscious way here. Like you say, we're basically taught like get really good at something or else leave it to somebody else. And you're saying, like, no, the fact that I feel like there's so many people better than me just makes me be able to do it just for the joy of it. And I feel like that's something that culturally, maybe, I don't know, in society here, I don't, like I said, I don't know if it's, I don't know where the actual root of it is. I just know that I don't see that perspective of it very often and
No, I
certainly
think
not expressed by anybody until I just heard you say it.
no, but I think first of all, I will tell you a very interesting story.
Hmm.
But I think this is a very common phenomena right now. Like even on if you go on social media, everything is very perfect, and I hate that. I hate a perfect painting. My paintings, my works are not perfect. I perfect gives me X.
Uh-huh.
I don't like perfect. Like,
Yeah.
of course, I like my house perfect, not perfect, perfect. Because again, like, I don't think there is any perfect and normal. These words are fake words. There's
Hmm.
nothing called normal. There's
Hmm.
nothing called perfect.
Hmm.
It's like, like how our woman's body, woman's fashion are imposed on us,
Yeah.
but it's not needed. It's just for the consumerism, and God knows for whose pockets, not for us, not for the
Right.
woman. So it's the perfect and normal is also like that. What is perfect? What is perfect for you is not for me.
Right.
What is normal for you is not normal for me. So perfect and normal is something like polished. Like it has to be like whole thing has to be polished. So who gave you the permission to have polish, and who is that person who has like everything? There will be no pimple, no creases, nothing. Like it doesn't happen. But we live in that kind of society, or I shouldn't say we live in that kind of society, but the tech industry want to show you that we live in that society.
Hmm.
Because you go out and you meet people, every other person will say, oh, we don't like that. None of my friends are like that. We all negate that. So who are those people? Yes, there, of course, there are certain people like that, and there will be that kind of people like that. But so my point is, maybe there are people who can do better. They can jump on the failure thing, but the social media life will not let you fail, because every reel, every post has to be perfect, has to be like picture perfect. So you can't fail. You are not getting the opportunity to fail. But for everyone out there, please
Yeah.
fail, because that's the key to enjoyment. So that being said, the interesting part is as you know, even in the introduction, my master's was in sculpture. But I, because I moved to the States soon after I got married, and I didn't have studio for a long time. So I couldn't practice sculpture because of logistics. And I didn't have money in the earlier days. So I started doing paintings. And even now, I mostly do paintings. Even my show you saw
Hmm.
was painting show. And because I was not trained in painting, I got the freedom to do whatever I can or I want because I was not trained in painting.
Mm,
But I feel like even now, if I start doing sculpture, I would be like, oh my God, how can I start? Because those his art history will be behind my ears and will be like, what are you doing? This has been made. This is wrong. This is this.
mhm.
So I think like we all go through that kind of
Sure.
thing in our life somehow. But yeah, I don't mind for failure, and that might like maybe that has to do something with me being like changing the country, making home in a new place again and again, again and again. Because now I'm even like I came here with two suitcases, so I don't mind starting over again.
Yeah.
Same thing with art.
Yeah.
I feel so. Yeah.
So do you feel like every single new piece is literally like a blank slate?
Mm, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, so there's no, you're not coming into it with any kind of context about what you've done before or how this is going to relate to anything
No,
that you've already done.
no,
Yeah.
no. Because every feeling is a new feeling.
Hmm.
Although it's coming through me, but it's the new feeling of it.
Hmm.
And maybe if you put all my works together, you can see the relationships.
Hmm.
But when I work, I don't see the the connections.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're just focused on
I'm
that
just
one, whatever is
yeah,
right in front of you.
yeah. There are many times when, like, suppose I worked on one piece and I really liked that texture and I wanted to recreate that texture.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Even myself, I couldn't. So
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't. But at the same time, like as I said, like I vision the work first.
Yeah.
Even with the vision, like that's why I can't do any mock-up work or any layout first because it just has to be that work
Right.
and then done. So I just can't uh, see the work before and once I start the work, then the work will take me, like I will move along with the work.
Hmm.
It's not that I have seen the entire painting how it's going to look, but I will start with it and then I will move along. But each work is individual piece. Each work talks to me differently.
Hmm.
I do have some, of course, I think every artist has their own signature style, signature patterns, signature, the way they do. So I think that's my play.
Hmm.
That's what I know how I know how to do it. So, but and with each work, I try to do something new. Uh, and there, I'm trying to learn something new. Like for last, I think last 2 years, I was trying to work big. So I have tried many, many, many big pieces because my work is ink and watercolor based.
Hmm.
So I was trying, and so I used to work. I still work on paper, watercolor paper. It I
Hmm.
get the best effect on that. But when I was going big, I was not getting that same effect on the materials I was choosing. So I was on lookout for the perfect material, which will be logistically best so that I can ship the works, will be less for framing, or all those kind of logistics artists
Hmm.
should think of. Uh, Finally, I found the thing. So these are the things you have to think of, and these are the things you learn over the years. But that also changes how you think, how you move. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I enjoy that.
Well, your stuff is incredible, like I said, and I think that absolutely there's so many prominent themes that are really important to us as a society, as the big collective society around the world. And I think certainly for women or people that are supporters of wanting women to feel in a place where societally we are safe and we can own our own power, because that's an entirely different conversation that maybe you and I will have at another time. But I think that's so in need right now. But like I said, what has been, and I think that's part of why your work speaks to so many, that, beyond the fact that it's coming up from you personally, which I believe that personal soul part of us is the part that is connected to everybody else, right? And also, I think your work is really emotional. I think the fact that you consciously are channeling your own emotions and particular feelings, I think again that's an attractive and connective energy that people can feel in your work. I think that's why it connects to people. Um, and and just today, like I said, listening to how you create it and the approach that you take while you're creating, I think holds such beautiful and important lessons for all of us, whether we do any kind of art the way that you do or not. The idea and the concepts around allowing yourself to allow you to find outlets for that internal pressure of the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts, because I believe personally that's why there's so much addiction and abuse and depression and unfortunately suicide rates, all these things. I think it's because people aren't allowing themselves a place to release and express. I think the fact that you so beautifully have talked about how you just allow yourself to just like let it go, whatever it looks like, not holding expectations, not trying to keep it reined in some way that it has to look like, and it, logically, you talked about the logistics of being able to ship it or whatever, but not being captured in, oh, I need to make sure this connects to ABC, or that I'm cohesive, or making sure that it's on brand or in theme of whatever's, just allowing yourself the freedom. I think that's such an important lesson for anybody, artist or not, to take. So I thank you for sharing all that with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Tell everybody where they can like see any upcoming work. I don't know. I know you have your community, the artful events that you have created. I don't know if there's anything that's offered online that people can participate, if you facilitate anything that way. But where can people kind of connect to you, see your art, maybe consider
Um,
purchasing your art?
so I have my own website and I have a gallery who represents me, River House Arts Gallery. They are in Ohio, Toledo. So they can go there, their website. Through them, they can purchase my work. Through Artsy, they can write Madhurima Ganguly and or River House Arts Gallery there, or my they can find me on Google, and my website is there.
Okay.
Like, yeah. through
And I'll
that.
put it
They
in the
can.
show notes for anybody that's listening. So if they go and look at the description for the show, I'll make sure that
Mhm.
your website and the gallery are in there.
Yeah, and I'm on Instagram very much. I'm like post very often on Instagram,
Okay.
so they can follow me there, and all the updates will be there. Like all the links and updates and my gallery links, everything is there, so they
Okay,
can
perfect.
find me there also. Yeah.
Awesome. Matu, what is one message you would like to leave everybody with? Like if you had one thing right now that you wished everybody would hear from your mind, what you've learned and experienced and what's gotten you here right now, what would it be?
Mm, there would be many, but I think in today's world, I would say that art is very important, any form of art. So live your life fullest and enjoy a little bit of art in your life. Just go listen to the music, or do some pottery, or do something, some sort of art, because as in today's world, AI is taking over, and we think it's taking over, but it can't, because what we have, like emotion, the emotion and imagination, which they can never take over,
Mm,
and that which we have to remember and we have to remind ourselves. But for that, we need art, we need our communities, we need to invest in our communities. So please, please, please go to your community and try to do something small, something small, or something big in your own uh, possible way. Do that. That's it.
okay. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so, so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored. I'm so honored and really enjoy the conversations.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much. And to all the sojourners that are listening today, thank you so much for coming back for another episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave us comments. We're always happy to have the interaction and to hear what has most impacted you. Until next time.